guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over an article titled, I asked my guy friends why they don't want to date F&S, and this is what they said. And a big shout out to the guy that sent me this article. Your name wasn't in the email, but you know who you are. And guys, this article, believe it or not, is written by a woman. She writes for this magazine, this online magazine called Evie, where a lot of women are supportive guys, and so this is yet another article proving that. And this is all about how she went around surveying a lot of her guy friends about their opinions on dating and F&S and all that, and pretty much backing up what we talk about all the time. These guys don't want anything to do with these F&S, and how absolutely they will not date them, and the negative impact that the F&S movement has had on the whole dating scene, relationships, the whole 9 yards. And this is not going to come to a surprise to you, any of the things that they have to say, but it definitely reinforces a lot of things that not only I talk about on this channel, but other channels talk about as well, and how things are going nowadays. Because at the end of the day, no guy in his right mind would ever want to get together with a gal, a relationship, or date a gal who it's always a battle to be around her. And I've unfortunately known women that are F&S, particularly when I was in martial arts for a number of years, because martial arts are going to attract a certain type of women to participate in that. And I gotta tell you, these types have absolutely no sense of humor. There's always some injustice they got to yap about, politics, all that crap, social justice warriors, and they're just impossible to be around. And I've known some guys that have dated some of these types, and believe me, some of them, when they were younger, weren't so bad looking, but once the guys started dating them, that's when they saw the true colors. And these guys were roped in because these guys didn't know any better. They were young, because I was one of the older guys in the martial arts schools, and I see these young guys date the gals there, and you know, it was a big mistake. But all the things they talk about here, no surprise at all. Also, why many guys also, not just the F&S types, but also just simply masculine women. Because thanks to the F&S movement, it's worked very hard to try to make the genders equal and get men to behave like women and women to behave like men. So you get all these women out there more and more embracing their masculine side, ball busting and all that type of thing. And no guy wants to date someone like that. It's like being on a date with another dude. It's a complete and total turnoff. So it's just a big mess out there, and this article hits the nail right on the head. Anyhow, guys, I've gone on long enough here. I'm going to get right into this. So it starts off, it says, romance is being undermined by outrage culture, political correctness, and forced justice. This hysteria is in our movies, TV shows, books, podcasts, and music. It's on our campuses and in our workplaces, and it's ruining the dating scene. What is the crux of this baggage that women are bringing on their dates? Feminism. And there you go. And that's why I know a lot of women that watch me because they have seen the damage that the F&S movement has caused across the board. Ain't about equality, equal rights anymore. It's about being better than men and transforming men into women and women into men. It's a big fucking mess. Says, you've probably heard the idea that F&ism isn't about equality of opportunity. It's about equality of outcomes. But F&S don't desire equality of outcome anymore either. They demand being above men, except for when it's convenient to them, which is why young men are growing fatigued from dating F&S women. Yeah, they're all for equality until it's time to shovel some snow, or chop some firewood, or pay for a dinner. Then no equality there. In an effort to understand what exactly turns men off about F&S women, I chatted with a few young guys in the dating world to get their personal perspectives. Note, for the sake of these gents' anonymity, in a world of cancel culture, I won't be disclosing any of their names or even using pseudonyms. Yeah, it's that bad nowadays. First one is from a guy who says, she didn't appreciate my humor, even the tamest things. When you look into how two genders evolved, men becoming biologically wired to have a better sense of humor than women, it signals to the woman that he's an intelligent mate, and it gives him a leg up in the competition if he can impress a woman. Now, this isn't to downplay a woman's capability to be funny. There are plenty of funny women out there, some of whom have made extraordinary impacts in the world of comedy, like Lucille Ball, but on average, men are scientifically the funnier sex. Yeah, and what was the age-old thing? Women love guys that can make them laugh. And I don't mean like guys acting like a bunch of goofballs or anything like that, but just having a good sense of humor and things like that. The problem is, F&S don't have a sense of humor. I have never met an F&S in my life that has a sense of humor. And you know someone doesn't have a sense of humor when they can't laugh about something that they hold the most dear. When nobody can just joke around and be relaxed and have a good time and laugh, That says everything. Feminists have no freaking sense of humor. Everything is a battle. Everything. And by the way, in my opinion, funny, comedic women are not attractive. It's a turnoff for me. Always has been. So when a man is on a date with an feminist and tells a harmless joke and it falls on deaf ears because she's too busy dissecting what stereotype he might be reinforcing or which group he might be marginalizing, he feels deflated. Men evolved to produce humor and women evolved to appreciate humor. So it can be a turnoff when women try to dictate what's allowed to be funny. Well, this guy shouldn't be on a date with an feminist, but maybe he didn't realize it. Maybe he saw her picture on a dating app and, oh, she's not bad looking or whatever, and she responded to him, went out with her, and then her true colors came out. Because I've known a few feminists that were younger, in their early 20s in their prime, that didn't have the blue hair or the arm tattoos or anything like that. They looked pretty good. But then you start talking to him, it's like, whoa, who the hell is this? He says, she wanted me to become more politically correct. Explained one man that I spoke with whose date requested that he make more a conscious effort to avoid language that might offend someone, even if no one else was around. Her goal was riddled with noble intentions at first, but it ended up being condescending and gatekeeping. Can you imagine being on a date and having a woman you just met pretty much telling you to be more politically correct and things like that? I'd be like, kiss my ass. I'd walk away. You can pay for the bill. That's why I tell you, one drink, by the way. Humor is humorous because it pushes the envelope. When it ceases to push the envelope, it becomes less funny. Comedian and television host Steve Harvey put it well recently when he said that a joke has to be about something, it has to be about somebody. We can't write jokes about puppies all the time. The joke can't be about bushes all the time either. Some of these jokes have to be about people because they're the most interesting topic. I used to watch when I was a kid growing up, HBO at night, the Def Comedy Jam, all the other comedies on the comedians on there, and it was awesome. And they were making fun of everybody. Nobody got offended. Nobody lost their shit. But nowadays, you can't make a joke about anything about somebody getting offended and then being threatened and by the woke army and the Twitter mob coming after you. It's ridiculous. Men don't like it when their natural talent for humor, a key aspect in courtship, is shut down because he shouldn't joke about things like that. Well, says who? Next one. She really wasn't emotionally balanced. Just like in their reactions to men cracking jokes, many feminists are easily sent into outrage over minute things. Outrage has become an integral part of the feminist personality. Hit the nail right on the head there. As it stands, women are more prone to let their emotions get in the way of thinking logically. Men tend to value logic while women value feelings. So when a woman goes into feminist route of acting more neurotic, less level-headed, and rude to the entire male gender, men don't immediately understand and perceive the woman's feelings as being illogical. The guy's being quoted as saying, she made it personal, made it her personality. It was so over the top to the point where I couldn't find it cute. Expressed one of the men I spoke with who dated a girl who took an overly controlling, overbearing role in their relationship and would chastise him for small things, like if she thought he was speaking too loud or if he was doing a nervous tick like tapping his leg. And why is this dumbass with her? Probably because he was raised and conditioned to be the nice guy, or he wasn't very strong or assertive and thought that's all he could get. No guy beyond a first date. If you're on a first date and she lets out the feminist true colors, walk. Check, please. End of story. Because if you're staying with someone like that, it's your own fault. But fortunately, more and more guys are developing a better screening process so they don't get involved with these types. Not even for one date. Is it any shock that men don't want to date women who are grumps? Whether an feminist woman is controlling her boyfriend's humor or behavior, she oftentimes seems to not have any control over her own emotional stability and happiness. Ironically, gains in women's rights actually haven't paid off in making women any happier. Women have now made major wins socially, economically, and politically, so you'd think that as a gender we'd be closer to Cloud 9, right? Wrong. Studies have shown that women are less happy now than in years past. Just as love begets love, hate begets hate, and women become less pleasant to date. Men don't like to date self-centered women, just like women don't like to date self-centered men. And nowadays, you get that more than ever. Not to mention narcissistic and many other negative qualities that, sadly, has become more and more common. Another guy says she was a repeat offender of victim mentality. That's a big one. A movement about how incredible women can be wouldn't actually be about victims' rights, but that's entirely what feminism now is. As part of the identity politics, feminism is gender Marxism. Given that Marxism is a progressive ideology, it's assumed that nothing is ever good enough and we have to keep working towards an endless goal. Right. Look at your typical social justice warrior, which there are plenty nowadays. There's always some injustice that they have to speak up about, tell everybody about, rant and rave, fight. It's never ending. And sadly, I've known some. And now, as time has gone on, guys, I've just continued to distance myself from people that I find to be just a royal pain in the ass. You get to the point, guys, for you younger guys, that maybe your 20s are watching this, maybe even your 30s, trust me, by the time you get to be really middle-aged, your 40s, maybe your late 30s, you just don't have time for this shit anymore. You better be alone to deal with a lot of the type of people that are out there. As I've gotten older, the circle of friends I have has gotten smaller and smaller because I just have zero patience for people like this. Other people with other issues as well. This victimhood mentality actually disempowers women by focusing on the nitty-gritty disadvantages that women still apparently have instead of highlighting all the incredible things that a woman can do. Think about it. Think of how many things they can do nowadays in Western culture. It's amazing compared to decades ago, but it doesn't mean that, okay, well, we have to keep fighting for the sake of fighting and stirring up bullshit and drama for the sake of stirring up bullshit and drama. And to be fair here, the ones that really are making a big fuss about the whole things, it is a smaller percentage, I will say that. But still, they unfortunately rope in plenty of others. And those numbers are growing, unfortunately. Feminist women in the dating world adopt victimhood mentalities to express their anger and angst over the constantly debunked myths that they perpetuate, like women being paid less for the same work, and to find ways to give themselves more power in their relationship. Well, it has been shown time and time again with all the stories done on this channel. When the woman leaves a relationship, it's in a bad place. A feminine woman wants a guy to lead the relationship, okay? But she has to trust that guy in the sense that he has to show masculine leadership qualities so she can trust him to take the lead, etc., etc. Problem is, more and more guys have been conditioned by, guess what, feminism, to be more in their feminine, to be uncertain, unsure, all that, and let the woman take the lead. And when they usually do, guess what happens? It doesn't go too well. It says here, she never seemed to know what gender role she wanted to play, and would flip-flop on whatever is convenient. One man that I spoke to began. He says if she wanted to favor, she'd play the damsel in distress, and if she wanted to take the reins in a situation, she'd play the strong-headed effeminist. To him, it felt confusing and not worth his time. Right there, not worth his time. Another man I spoke with brought up an instance of a woman weaponizing victimhood culture in the workplace that absolutely turned him off. This woman had complained that she didn't get a job because she was being interviewed by a man, despite herself not being the most qualified of all applicants. She used her gender as an excuse for the outcome of her actions or lack thereof. Look, in my opinion, when it comes to running a business, whether it's a small mom-and-pop operation or a giant Fortune 500 company, if you got somebody that's applying for a position, whatever that may be, whether it be as one of the workers, or someone in the management, or someone on the board of directors, if they have exceptional skills and they're great at what they do and they can contribute at whatever that job may be, fine. Hire them. I don't care if it's a man or a woman. I don't care what color they are. I don't care what their religion is, their culture is, their anything. But the sake that you have to hire them based on those things just to, be fair, even though they're not qualified, I think it's bullshit. And of course, in this situation, oh, well, I didn't get hired because a man interviewed me. That's a load of crap. Because plenty of women interview men, and those men don't get the job, and I'm sure they're not saying, well, it's because a woman interviewed me, I didn't get it. Guy says, it shows that she would throw blame to others during negative events, and that wouldn't be good in a relationship, he said. The same men expressed that in the early stages of dating a girl, she would constantly complain about men being nice for ulterior motives. She would expect him to show chivalry to her when it was most beneficial to her, but would then turn around hypocritically and take issue with him doing something as harmless as opening a door for her. Yeah, how many of your articles I've done where the women complain there's no gentlemen out there, but the reason there aren't as many gentlemen out there nowadays is because of, well, there aren't a whole lot of ladies. And a lot of these guys have tried to do these nice gestures and they get burned. They get burned either by the women interpreting and perceiving his gentlemanly ways as being weak, and therefore losing respect for him and treating him like a second-class citizen, or being snapped at for, God forbid, opening a door, pulling out a chair, paying the bill. I mean, come on here. I have a friend, I'll never forget the story he told me, how he went out on a date with a girl. This is years ago, because I remember this story very, very well. And they were having fun. It was a good time. The bill came and he wanted to pay for it, and she snapped at him about that, and I can pay my half and all that. And he was like, what the hell? Everything was going good, and all of a sudden just that. Needless to say, he never went out with her again. Next one. She places way more value on independence than on family. Modern feminists dream of liberation from a traditional lifestyle and feel pigeonholed by the constructs that many couples thrive in. The feminist would rather trade marriage and raising a family with her husband for power and a high-octane career. She wants to be an alpha, she wants to be her boyfriend to be her beta, and she for sure doesn't understand how men and women in relationships can both be leaders in their own unique ways. Yeah, pursuing career and goals and kicking butt and all those things, that's generally associated with masculine energy, while the feminine energy is all about connecting and the bond and all that and everything like that. And when you have the woman pursuing all these things, climbing new mountains and all that, while one can admire anybody trying to be successful, don't get me wrong, that's embracing more of a masculine role. And you got a lot more out there like that. And those types, interestingly, want alpha men. But alpha men are turned off by quote-unquote alpha women that behave like men. Because it's like being out on a date or a relationship with another dude. So the only guys those gals can get are much more meeker, softer beta men, if you will. And they don't want them either. And so they complain. Now, there's nothing wrong with feeling drawn toward a particular line of work. Having passion for a cause, an art form, or wanting to express your unique skills is admirable. But this can backfire in the dating world if meeting career milestones instead of nurturing personal relationships is a woman's top priority. Being quoted as saying, power to the ladies that don't want to be family-centered, but it just doesn't fit in what I want in my life, confessed one of the men I spoke with. For him, what was bothersome about dating an feminist was how incompatible she was with his family goals and religious values. Yeah, the family goals and religious right out the door, because to them, going down the path of a traditional woman is the most outrageous, heinous thing a gal could do. And sadly, there are women out there that are traditional, and that I've had women write me, email me about my channel and all, and say they want to be traditional. They want to be a wife and raise the kids and all that, and they are obviously get disdain from these feminist types, these modern gals, because they feel that they are the ones that are, how dare you just want to be a wife and a mother? How dare you? You should be trying to pursue a career and kick butt out there. Well, a lot of them don't want to. And shouldn't be chastised and made to feel less because they want to be in a more traditional role. Another one, she didn't embrace the things that made her her. Feminists object to the fact that biological and physical differences make men and women inherently different. Some feminists will admit that there are physical differences, but they will still choose to reject the femininity to protest male oppression. Yet isn't it ironic that they cry for help from male oppression is just to act more like men? Wouldn't it be more logical for feminists to want to act even less like men to feel free? Well, logic has nothing to do with any of this. But I digress. One of the men I spoke with lamented that the feminist woman he dated didn't believe in differences between men and women. Though he firmly believes that men and women should be afforded the same rights and be equal in opportunity, he was deflated by how feminist women often abandon the unique feminine characteristics that make them so special in their effort to dismantle gender norms. Yeah, exactly. Back to the trying to make men more feminine and make more women more masculine. And you see it all the time in the movies and TV shows. And if you haven't observed this, guys, I challenge you to watch movies and TV and see how they portray men and how they portray women. They've been doing this for decades. It makes me want to barf, which is why I honestly don't watch a whole lot of TV shows anymore unless it's very specific ones. It says here, men can't nurse a baby like a woman can, he explained, noting an admiration for a woman's natural inclination to be more nurturing. These differences in gender traits and strengths are often what men find attractive about women. When women choose to not embrace what makes the female gender unique, it's no wonder why they might not be the most alluring choice in the dating scene for anyone beyond a hookup. Yeah, No guy wants a gal that acts like a dude. As one writer wrote so eloquently, your womanly strength and assertive compassion provides peace and warmth. And in closing thoughts, she says, modern feminism doesn't call into question any inherent inequality between genders anymore. Feminists will hide behind kitschy statements like, when you're used to privilege, equality feels like oppression, to justify their treatment of men, when what they're actually trying to achieve is more power over men, and men don't find that attractive. Amen. So there you go. I haven't done an article in a while, but it hit the nail right on the head. This is exactly why it's a mess out there, thanks to feminism. This is why so many men, in many ways, are just walking away altogether, because they may not have been they may have not been on dates with feminists, but they may have definitely been on dates or been around masculine women, or just been embracing their masculine side. They're not walking around with blue hair and tattoos on their arms, or butched hair and talking about inequality and social justice bullshit, but just simply they're just acting like dudes with masculine traits, and it turns them off, amongst many other reasons why guys are walking away. But that'll be a good one to cover here. It covers a lot of things I've been talking about for a while on this channel. Good way to mix things up. All right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know in the comment section, guys. Have you yourselves ever been out with a woman that, on paper or the dating app, she looked like she was, your average gal, in the sense that not an feminist? Got on a date with her, and then just boom, it all came out. I'd like to hear about that. Or just your experiences if you dated any masculine women that you didn't know was masculine, but then you started dating her, what that was like. Share in the comments section. Share your experiences. Let me hear about it. Let the other guys know about it. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.